Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. We're taking a look at a new moon in Virgo, and this is a pretty potent new moon. It's occurring at right around 2 a.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, August 23rd, but you will be feeling it on Friday as well. Pretty much we're looking at new moon overtones for these 2 days. When we get into Sunday, things will lighten up a little bit, but we still have a couple of degrees to go through Virgo as we go into the rest of the weekend. So let's dig into this, and sorry if I'm especially wordy compared to my usual forecast, but there's a lot. There's a lot going on. So, the new moon in Virgo, Friday, August 22nd and Saturday, August 23rd, turns the discerning and problem-solving skills of this mutable Mercury-ruled Earth sign towards self-reflection, the uncovering of subconscious fears or blocks, and the healing of trauma, which will enable an initiation into a new level of conscious transformation, empowerment, and change, as the moon conjunct the sun at 0 degrees of Virgo, form a yod, also known as finger of God, aspect pattern with Saturn conjunct Neptune, both retrograde at 0 and 1 degree, respectively, and Pluto retrograde at 1 degree of Aquarius, while squaring Uranus at 1 degree of Gemini. Something new is definitely in the air at this new moon, but it has probably been there all along and you just couldn't see it. Or it is something within you that was buried so deep you needed the passage of time and experience for the layers to be excavated in order to discover or remember something elemental and essential you sensed but just couldn't embody and express fully. The moon and sun are also trying to Chiron retrograde in Aries, supporting any method of healing you may choose to utilize at this lunation. Saturn, work, materiality, discipline, mastery, history, tradition. Neptune, beauty, healing, inspiration, spirituality, victim, savior, martyr, memories. Uranus, change, freedom, uniqueness, genius, invention, individuality, technology, humanity, fame and infamy, the future. Pluto, power, control, crisis, upheaval, catharsis, death, transformation. These are the heavy hitters requiring you to step onto a path that leads you to another level, as they join their qualities cooperatively through a grand trine and kite aspect pattern, directing your concerns to the areas of life they govern, wherever they are currently transiting through your natal chart. And that is why life seems busier than usual and you feel short of time. Pressure is being brought to bear, but the planets are poised to act as midwives to new ways of being and doing. This Virgo new moon will instill a pragmatic mindfulness that puts you at the observation center of your thoughts and feelings, past, present, and future. It is an especially powerful black moon, sending a direct message through the yod. Be still and know that I am God. The work of expanding your awareness and raising your vibration may not be easy, but a T-square aspect pattern of Venus in Cancer, Chiron and Pluto makes you instinctively sense that there is danger in remaining stuck in a comfort zone or being willfully ignorant too long. Mars in Libra at the tail of the kite, opposing Saturn and Neptune at the top of the kite, and squaring Jupiter in Cancer, influences you to choose and create growth and harmony in all your relationships, or to let go peacefully and move on, if that is not possible. The moon in Virgo, Uranus in Gemini, the north node in Pisces, and the south node in Virgo are all immutable signs, which could present you with multiple options and distractions externally. But when you make time to go within this weekend and invite the spiritual realm to meet the needs of your material world, you will discern your safest and best path forward. So let's take a look at the sky and what we have going on here. And the first thing that dominates is this yod, the green dotted lines that you see here. And there we have the moon, the sun, 2:06 a.m. on the 23rd Eastern Time Zone. Pluto retrograde, Saturn, Neptune retrograde, Chiron retrograde. A lot of energy that is basically saying time to go back over something. Or, hey, look, you need to pay more attention to these planets and where they are in your natal chart at this time. What are they stirring up? How do you need to focus more on those areas of life? Once the moon gets moving along, we're going to, I don't have the south node toggled on, but the south node is at 18 degrees of Virgo, opposing the north node. And once we get that moon moving along, by Sunday, we will have that moon conjunct the south node, and the issue of path and purpose comes about, and a greater awareness of the things you do without really thinking about it, your default programming, and that will give you pause to reflect upon what are your aims and goals, what are you here to learn and to do, as the north node gets activated through the opposition. So this is a big kind of breath in. All new moons represent some new beginning. We often don't feel the full effect of that until a day or two after the lunation is exact, and we begin to see that little crescent reappear in the sky, and the energy picks up, and the moon is beginning to look toward the next sign, and that's when that new beginning actually kicks in. But at the time that we sit there in the dark, we are kind of ungrounded and don't know which direction to take. That is because we are meant to sit still and be quiet and just observe and just feel. Go within. We've got the kite here with those heavy hitters I mentioned, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Mars is driving that kite. And it's in the sign of Libra, which rules one-on-one relationships. It is also a sign associated with things like social etiquette, negotiations, diplomacy, how we conduct ourselves with other people, not just romantically, but where we seek to achieve the balance, the harmony, the win-win. It is also a very artistic sign, being Venus ruled. So maybe your senses, aesthetic senses, are enhanced at this time as well. That anything that is not aesthetically pleasing in some way might exacerbate any discomfort. That you would want to have a peaceful environment, you would want to have peaceful relationships. The square to Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer's all needy and feedy and about symbiosis. Jupiter, growth, abundance, good things. Venus, close by, also pleasure, familiarity, things that feel comfortable, affection. And then we've got this opposition with Mars to Saturn and Neptune. Now, sometimes a Mars-Neptune opposition can activate tears. If you find that you are crying for no good reason, this is the reason. And we also have Venus opposing Pluto, and that can bring up some intense feelings as well, particularly if there is a deep longing or yearning for that symbiosis or for a connection with someone, or if you are missing someone who has died, then it might be more profound for you at this new moon as you are examining everything that's there within you, all your feelings, And if any of these squares represent trauma that you are still carrying around or grief that you still have within you, this might be a final clearing of something or a very good window of opportunity to face those things and be ready to clear if you want to, if that is what you would like to do. Mercury, I didn't talk about it much. It's relatively quiet. The fact that it has moved forward a bit, it broke apart our castle, our envelope or castle that we had last week when it was in an earlier degree of Leo. Now that it's moved forward a bit, we no longer have this complete side here. And we've got a little opening there into what was a castle pattern. But Mercury is in creative and ardent Leo, and this is giving some courage and passion and is adding some extra oomph with Mars in Libra. So anybody who is in pursuit right now, attempting to court or woo someone else, that's a nice aspect to give you the courage. And usually you'd find that it's reciprocated, that the energy is going to be returned to you with that sextile. And a Mars-Pluto trine and a Mars-Uranus trine, feelings might get quite deep and intense, and people may act with greater impulse while those trines are in place from the romantic perspective. But if you're looking at Mars in Libra right now from the perspective of, I'd better get down to business because I need more money in the bank and I'd better be successful, then you can be utilizing that grand trine in salesmanship, in finding ways to make more money. And it may require some sacrifice on your part or working harder if your goal is simply make more money. The goal actually should be more about gratitude and appreciation for what you already have as being the first step, particularly while Mars is interacting with, well, the entire Grand Trine and Kite. This can shift your prosperity consciousness and your ability to manifest if you look up to the top of that kite and you put in the work, but you also open up to the possibility that your good can come from anywhere, any particular person, place, or thing, and that you open up your horizons there in terms of where you think it should come from. Sometimes we block our ability to manifest when we think, well, I've got to go make more money. What is it that you need? Think about what you need and simply think about the thing. Don't think about the how. Let the universe get busy delivering the order. And we do have this minor grand trine with Venus, Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune. And this actually can bring about more of the good things that you desire if you are remaining spontaneous, open-minded, feeling a little bit lucky, and gratitude. One little secret for manifesting is to give what you would most like to receive. So if you're short on money, put a few dollars out in the world. There's a little exercise in a book called A Happy Pocket Full of Money, where you take several dollar bills and you can either write on them or put a little sticky note on them, whatever you want, like here's a happy unexpected piece of money, or have a wonderful day, and then take those dollar bills and go out into the world and hide them like they're Easter eggs for an egg hunt. And in fact, hiding them in egg cartons is a neat place to hide them, and in magazines at the laundromat or the doctor's office, or anywhere where people might happen to open something up, look and find it. Spread those little seeds out there in the world. It's exciting, it's fun, and it will bring money into you almost immediately, and usually at least 10, sometimes even 100-fold. Joy, it activates joy, which is one of the most powerful energy states that you can be in to attract things to you. And we have a little bit of joy going on in here with Venus, Uranus, and Neptune. Saturn, well, he can be a wet blanket, but just ignore him. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol and see what we have going on. I think it's just as wordy as what I wrote. We round up to 1 degree of Virgo, and it's at the first level, actional. In a portrait, the significant features of a man's head are artistically emphasized. Keynote: the capacity to picture to oneself clearly the salient features and the overall meaning of any life situation. During the 2 preceding scenes, the feel of energy at work has been the dominant feature of a consciousness still strongly ego-centered, yet at times eagerly and devotionally reaching up to a realization of divine or cosmic order. Now we have come in the seasonal cycle of the year to the sign Virgo. It is, in a sense, the symbol of harvesting, but it is also that of the path of discipleship and of all strongly determined processes of training or retraining. Flooded with and having enjoyed and released energy, the personalized consciousness now has to learn the lesson of significant form. It must be able to see life situations as wholes of experience and to discover their meaning by distinguishing their most characteristic features. This is the first stage of the 31st fivefold sequence of symbols, and its keyword is discrimination. Implied in discrimination is both analysis and intuition. The mind separates and identifies, and unfortunately often exaggerates, what makes a person or a situation different from another. But the intuitive responses of the whole person to what confronts him or her is also essential, for what matters is not only my or your difference, but the place and function this difference occupies in the organic pattern of the evolution of humanity as a whole, i.e., of man. Well, that says a lot, and a lot of it is, in a way, some of the points that I brought about in what I wrote. What really stands out for me is that path of discipleship and the training or the retraining, and that there's that devotional reaching to the realization of divine or cosmic order. That's where our kite right now is pointing at Saturn and Neptune, and they're both poised to be sliding back into Pisces. They are in Aries right now and opposing a Virgo new moon, but they are right there on the edge, and Neptune rules Pisces. So we're feeling a little bit more of that Piscean energy that we have been used to for the last couple of years as Saturn and Neptune have been moving through Pisces. Then in this spring and summer, we had the shift where they moved into Aries. Now they've gone retrograde. We have time to tweak. We have time to look at our foundations. We have time to look at our beliefs and our dreams and our ideals and do something about it. Think about what we want to do. The bigger picture, though, may not come to full fruition until we get into 2026 and we have those outer planets get done with their retrogrades and begin their progress again through the new signs that they are in until we get back to that Aries energy with full forward motion. But now is the time for that discrimination that Virgo energy brings in at this lunation. And we must also find that balance between the material and the spiritual world. Within the sign of Virgo, there always is the opposing sign of Pisces. And Virgo observes and then discerns, sorts, prioritizes, eliminates what's not necessary, and utilizes what is left to fix a problem, solve a problem, heal. We also have healing energy with Pisces opposite, and that is a sign that has no boundaries and contains the all that is. Balancing that spiritual energy of beingness of Pisces with the more material doingness of needs-oriented and service-related Virgo is what comes up at this new moon. And by going within and communing and connecting with whoever you do as you meditate, Source, God, your guides and angels, ancestors, that is where you present your questions, your issues, your problems, and then sit still, wait, listen, watch perhaps for signs that are going to point you in the right direction and give you the answers. Let's just take a look. We're done with Mercury retrograde now, and we're out of the shadow period, I believe, and we have no major stressors to Mercury at this moment, which is good. Big sigh of relief, anything residual being cleared up from the Mercury retrograde time period should really be over and done as we get past this new moon. And your decks will be cleared and you will be ready for whatever new plans or projects come to you during this new moon. So take care, stay safe, and I will be back again on Monday.